Hello and welcome to the Flooring Models Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 15th of March 2024. Busy week, dirty week, playing with resin, 3D printing and stuff like that. And again, it's been a discussion of many a show over the last few weeks really about 3D printing. Is it going to be the demise of model making? Is it going to be, mark the end of sort of, normal kits and that when you can just 3D print them to whatever scale you want? I don't think so. At the moment, I'm in that sort of camp of the, yes, I've got a 3D printer. Yes, I do a lot of 3D printing and things. But at the end of the day, it always just enhances my builds. So it's great that there's enough free stuff, even stuff you buy out there, where you can actually just download some files and use them like you would aftermarket. And obviously a lot of the major companies who do a lot of aftermarket now are going down the 3D route, and some of them are allowing you to sort of download the file and then print it off yourself, which obviously saves packaging and obviously time of waiting for it to be delivered to you and stuff like that. So from my point of view, I know there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, it's going to be the end of model making and all the rest of it. I don't think it ever will. I think model making will always have its place, purely because there's still limitations with 3D printing. Yes, it's getting better and better, and I know soon it'll be able to do clear parts and all the rest of it, crystal clear parts we're talking, and stuff. But until then, we're into that sort of camp of that, yes, it's good for enhancing, yes, especially with sci-fi, with figures, stuff like that. But if you're doing a model kit, generally though, working with styrene is a different way of working than it is with solid resin and things like this. Or this isn't solid, it's hollow, but you know what I mean. So working with this, and obviously things like that, some people don't want to do the thing of like, having to make all the hassles of printing it yourself and that. I know a lot of people who do a lot of 3D printed models, but they don't print themselves. They buy them pre-done and then assemble them all themselves, which I get as well, because 3D printing, it's a bit like everything. It gets failures. There's things that don't quite go right. The resin can swell. It can contract. You can get some fit issues. To be honest, I've had a lot of them with this one, and things like that. So again, it's just, you're using your modeling skills after having the kit and stuff. But honestly, I'm in the camp where 3D printed stuff I think is great. I think it's great. Things like we use the barrels. I 3D printed off all the new barrels for the B25 because the kit ones are a bit and I couldn't actually find any brass ones, because normally I would have gone down the brass route, but unfortunately there was none available at the time of doing that particular build. So consequently, 3D print. I found the file. It was cheap. It's £1.50. Paid me money. Downloaded the file. Printed off 50. Because you might as well do a load at once. And there you go. I've got enough now spares to last me, which are actually in here, to last me now for many a build if I need 48 scale 50 caliber guns and things like that. So from that point of view, I think it's absolutely great. And again, if you're doing anything sort of diorama based as well, to be honest with you, I've been speaking about it a lot on the shows. I've got it here. I've printed off Marsden matting completely in 48 scale. There's a file up there. I paid my little bit of money, it's only £2 I think it was, and now I can print off as much as I need in any scale I need. So again, yes, you could just go down the route, and obviously this is a different version, but you know what I mean. Got the ICM one here, and obviously I've got the mini art one as well for Marsden matting. This is just as good, if not better, because the great thing with this is in the when you're working it out on the print bed, if you just overlap them, it literally comes along and we'll put it together into sheets. So I've done it like this, so I can just interlock them and have them all over it, or I could just print a big bed of it completely in one and then just stick it down and away we go. So again, it depends on which way you want to do it, but the matting has turned out absolutely fantastic. So I'm definitely in the camp where I'm thinking 3D printing. It's got to that point now where I think it's pretty much plug and play. You don't need too much fettling with it to get it to work now. 9 times out of 10, it just prints and I've had no problem. And to be honest, I'm going to jinx it now, clearly, but I haven't had any failed prints on me or anything for months. So I must be doing something somewhat right again. But it's not cheap setup. I know I've spoken about a lot throughout 3D printing. You're going to hear a lot about it because of this one. And we've got another project, which I might just do the bigger version. I might just do it 1/18 scale, because this is going really well. And I'm thinking, the B wing or an A wing in 1/18 scale, that would be nice. So again, it's all different things we can play with and sort of really see how it's going to come together and what it's going to look like. But at my point of view, from the hobby point, as we spoke about this week, I think it's enhancing the hobby. And again, if you're doing dioramas and things, if you needed some barrels, for instance, yes, you can go out and you can buy a set, but the thing is, if you were doing a bit of a fuel farm, you're going to need a lot of them. All right. 3D print off as many as you like, and literally you've got them all there. Jerry cans, if you wanted 50 jerry cans, print off 50 jerry cans and away you go. And again, it just makes it so much easier and more practical. Get a bit like the matting, you know, again, if I was doing that now and suddenly I was thinking, oh, I could put it on the 132nd one upstairs, I've got that P40, that'll look quite nice. I could just print a load off, do a new base for it, put it onto that one, and away we go. So I'm definitely thinking it is. I know it's not for everybody, and I know there's all the doubters out there about it, but from my point of view and what I'm doing, especially with this, then yeah, you can see exactly what we're going on with it. Anyway, all about that a little bit later on when we get round to it. Anyway, it all started on Tuesday. Me and Matt, we had our show up, and as you can see down in here, we've got the Royal classes back from Edard. Really missed them. I don't know why they disappeared for a while, but again, we were talking about all the Royal classes on there and things like that on this particular show and going through. Obviously, I was talking about what I've been up to, working with various bits, obviously on down in here, as you can see, with the Y-Wing, when we printed that off and started getting it together beginning of the week. Matt was talking about his figures, some of the dioramas he's been doing, obviously 3D printed figures, that's what we're talking, and stuff like that. And then Matt had in, if I can just cue this up correctly, there it is, a lovely book, which he will bring in now. There we go, on the Phantom. So we did a quick little flick through all of that one to show in there, some great builds in there as well, right the way through. And then obviously we were looking at the tooling and the billets, which, you know, as a bit of an old retired engineer now, I can highly appreciate the workings of this. And I think it's just amazing. And again, it's really nice that they've put up the photos of all of these now with the actual, so you can see what a mould actually looks like. So great job by Edol on that. Looks a beautiful bit of kit that right the way through. So we were talking about that. We were talking obviously about the Raw class stuff and everything else coming along with it. We was answering questions. We were talking about obviously all the different boxings. It comes in two flavours, a royal one, or you've got a dual combo one down in here as well. Some of the markings options are absolutely glorious with this particular one. It's got both types of canopies. And all the things like that. So we were discussing that, and obviously all the other kit releases that are coming down the line shortly as well, like the new Hobby Boss 148 scale Liberator, which really looking forward to that one, and lots of other stuff that's going on in the moment out in the industry. So if you want to have a look at that one, feel free. It's up on the site right now. You can go off and see that one. That's your show that was up on Tuesday the 12th. It's a free to watch video, so anyone can watch that one as well. Then with me on the vlogs, so yes, we're back into doing the vlogs now, and I was talking about some of the fit issues clearly that I'm facing working on this one. So we've got some issues with thicknesses and stuff, so it does take a little bit of fettling to get some of these bits all down into it and get them all to fit in there and stuff like that. So we were discussing all of that and some of the pros and cons clearly of working with resin, like it breaking. Because it's very, very fragile. It's quite brittle. That's the thing with resin. It's brittle. So if you clout it with a hammer, don't use a hammer, kids, you are going to shatter it, all right, and going through. And also, it's a dirty process, as you can see. Very dirty, judged by the dust, all right. And then obviously, I've got down in here the Bandai 48 scale, 72nd scale one, which we're using as our sort of, you know, our reference, because we know the Bandai one's pretty good, so all things like that, all right. So that's down in there as well, plus the fact we have had some issues on the forum this week, so we were discussing that, and I was showing we've adjusted it now in the mobile app bit, so you can go through on that one, and we don't have that giant area at the bottom and stuff like that anymore that was taking up a lot of that. Again, I've spoken about it on the show, guys, and I don't want to bore obviously this one, but we have had some problems with the security issue. It's been upgraded, so you have got to log in. And again, just to point out, I've had a lot of you, and I'm not blaming you because I've done it as well many times in the past, but you're saying, oh, I'm not getting the password, it's not working. You may have done it years ago, and then you're using a different email address. So if your email address is out, you try and do like a password, you know, recovery, it's sending it to your old email address. And I've had 4 or 5 of you have that problem now. And I've checked for what email address, and you're like, oh, I haven't had to use that one for years. So just have a check as well. And I can update it. Shoot me a message. I'll sort it out for you. So it should be fine. The devs are looking at 2 more little problems. As we know, the actual newest posts thread on the bottom footer of the mobile app isn't working properly at the moment. It's all over the place. They're currently looking into that as we speak. All right. So hopefully that'll get sorted out in the next sort of over the weekend, or hopefully by Monday. That'll be fine with you. All right. So anyway, that was up with you on Wednesday. Thursday, me and the guys are all together. Answering your questions, looking at your great work and all the rest of it on the live show, fully interactive with all the members. Don't forget, you do have to be a member for this one. So we were looking at everything, including Andy's flycatcher, which is starting to get a little bit of paint on it now, so that's nice. We've got John's massive A20, which is absolutely huge. We've got Nathan's cut and shut Mark 1's 109. So this is the first ever 109 that he's made a one out of that. Matt's obviously working at the moment on the SAS Jeep, which obviously there's a review of that up as well down in there. And then obviously I was talking about some of the scale problems and issues that I've been having with the actual Y-wing and working some of those out, like changing figures over and stuff like that to get it the right size. And then obviously we're looking at that the Marsden mat as we were talking about as well. So we've got all of that down in there, plus the fact we were looking at all your great work as well. Some beautiful work this week down in our team where we pick out our favorites and stuff. And again, you'll see some of those in the gallery and that. So there's some great work down in with all of these ones down in there. So members, you can go off and see this one, plus the fact we're answering all your questions and things like that as well during the show. So if you want to see any of those ones, members, you can go off and see that right now. And that gets us bang up to date to this one. A bit of a placeholder with an image because I haven't got one down in there. But anyway, this is 3D printed. Chris Bibby over on CG Trader. That's where you can find this particular one. There is a link down below. All right, and you can go off. It's only $30, or you can do like me, and I think I paid 70, and I've got the A-wing and the B-wing and the Y-wing files all down in here as well. So you can go off and get those, and then you just download them. Very, very simple. Chuck it into Chichu Box as I do, which is on here in a second. There we go, into Chichu Box. I did mine to 200% bigger, and then off we go and start printing off to your heart's content. And then it should come out something like this off of there. So, you can cram as much as you can onto a build plate and just let it go. Highly recommend hollowing it out. Nothing's hollow on here. So make sure you hollow out the engines. Otherwise, that's going to be a solid lump of resin and the nose sections and stuff like that. So if you hollow them out, you'll be good. Then we talk about the cleanup. Obviously, the best way to clean up with 3D printed parts, taking off all the support structures and that, being a little bit careful. And obviously some of the great details you can get through 3D printed as well. So again, we've got 3D printed cockpit going in there. Then we did a little bit of test fitting just to see how this is all going to go. Looking very good down in there, just like that. And we've actually got the entire front end section together. So that's down in there. And we were talking about cleanup as well, because obviously working with resin, it is dangerous. Don't forget, make sure you've got a breathing mask on or a respirator, or you're doing it outside, or you've got a vent going on somewhere to draw it out, because there's all that dust. You don't want to be breathing that in. And again, some of the little glue marks and then popping in panel lines and stuff like that as well on there. So anyway, that is part one. It's up for members to watch right now, right the way through. All right, part two with that will be up with you on Monday. It's pre-done and ready to go, which will hopefully get you somewhere to this stage. And here she is. At the moment, it's all completely a soft fit. So if I show you it as it sort of is now. All right, so here it is, the lump itself. And then what we've got is we've got some triangles. To be honest, I've got some styrene triangles coming. They're going to go onto here and then onto the back. And then obviously we've got the rudder type things that are going to go onto the back of this one as well. So I'm waiting for those to come up. And again, it's great because look, there we go. Name the tank. We're thinking Panther, possibly, on there. But that actually comes in here and fits in the back, just like that. And there we go. That's those all in there like that. So we still got to do all the pipe work. And again, we've got to do a little bit of work down in here in the cockpit and stuff like that. But technically it is all together. It is all still a loose fit. So what I've done is I've gone through and we put some copper piping right the way through this just to give it a little bit more strength. Again, so we don't get any sag, because I don't want these to actually sag over time and stuff. Although I'll probably end up standing this thing upright. But yes, there we go. It's all in there just like that. It's all in. We've got a nice mounting plug on the bottom. So plan of action really is early next week I will get this thing into primer, and then obviously we're going to go around, do a little bit more detailing, and then we'll get it all together properly, so we're actually fully attach all of this down in here. All right, and then obviously we'll go into this one, and then hopefully if I'm going to in the holes, there we go, locked in, and then hopefully we'll end up getting this thing into paint. And then we'll get the piping in afterwards and add a few little bit more greeblies and stuff like that onto it as well. But again, really to show you really what you can do with 3D printing now. And trust me, you can do some really big stuff. And again, this is just the mini-me version. I know a few of you have got in contact with me and said that you've actually done the full size. Well, not the full size, but the 1/18 scale. It's about 3 feet, which if you upload have the file, 400%, that's what you'll get out of it. And it does look absolutely stonking, although I don't know where I'd put them. But now I've got the B-wing file and the A-wing, and I'm thinking an A-wing, and that'd be quite big. So it'd be about as big as this cutting mat. That'd be quite cool. And some of the others to put them properly into studio scale. So again, having a lot of fun. If you like it, I'll do a lot more of them. But again, I'm acutely aware you've got the ranters out there, shall we say, is, oh, it's not a proper model. Well, it is. So anyway, going to have a lot of fun with that one. Painting and weathering it should be really good as well. So it should be a lot of fun with this particular build. So if you like it, let me know and I'll do a lot more of them. If you don't, fair enough, because up next I'm actually starting on the Apache. I've been actually waiting on the Quinta photo etch set for it, the colour photo etch set for the cockpit. So as of probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to be starting on the Apache. So first part of the Apache will probably be up with you on Friday, or if not, it'll be up next Monday as well on that particular one. So yes, lots still to come on that particular one down in there. Don't forget as well, we've got Easter coming up. So I think it's the last weekend of the month. I think it's the 20th, 30th, 31st of March. That's Easter. We've got a couple of live shows coming up with you on that one, where I will be doing a live build, back to doing live builds again of this. This is the Sword 2-seat Lightning. I've wanted to do this particular kit for absolutely ages. You might remember I did a live show many years ago and I did the Airfix single-seater. So this is going to go next to it because it's in the same markings almost. So it will look quite nice with them side by side. So if you want to join in for that one, I think it's, let's say, the 30th and 31st. It's the last weekend over Easter. We'll start this on a members live show on the Thursday night, then obviously we'll be with you on Friday, and then live shows on Saturday morning and Sunday morning over Easter, and then you can finish them off during the week after Easter. All right, so it should be a lot of fun with that particular one to make our way through. Unfortunately, I never got round to doing this because we've had a few problems with the forum this week and I've been trying to sort it out, but I will get the review done of this one probably Tuesday next week as well. So we've got that, and I know I've got some other kits coming down for me as well from PM. So we'll get some more great reviews for you coming up really soon, because I've missed doing them as well. So, but yes, but at the moment I was up to my neck in dust and junk off of all of this as it makes its way through. Just last up, over to PM Models. There's no sales section up currently at the moment, purely because, sorry, I need to change that screen just a little bit. No, is it that one or that one? There we go. No, it's not that one. That one, that's the one. Because obviously we're having a bit of a move around with stocks and various things like that, so we'll get up for you next week. Obviously we're doing probably some specials and things like that over the Easter weekend and stuff, so obviously we'll have a new special section coming up in there. But PM has had a very large delivery of SMS paints have been coming in, so that continues to get bigger, and a few other usual bits and pieces. Before everyone asks, I have not a clue about the actual AK Real colours. There's not much going on that one at the moment. But over in the book section, as I spoke about during the week as well, we've got lots of books down for you as well, including the frequently asked questions books. They're giant, they're Bibles, but they are really, really worth every single penny. And obviously we've got some of those reference books we were talking about before. And Matt's got the Phantom one, wherever that one's in here somewhere. The new Phantom one, there it is. That's the new Phantom one that just came out. So very nice job done in that one as well. So if you want to grab any of those ones, you can just pop over to the PM store. Obviously you've got all your tools, all your glues and thinners and all the usual bits and pieces as well. So if you want to get anything out of the store, you can go through and get them just down in there as well. So if you want to get any of those ones, you can do as always. They're right there with you. Last up, don't forget, if you do want to join the Flory family, like many people have recently, it's easy. Two ways of doing it. You can just pop along to our Patreon page. So just click on the link, that'll take you off to Patreon. If you want to pay on card, anybody can do it, and it's just £4 plus VAT wherever you are in the world. All right, you can do it that way. Or the other one is, if you're inside the UK or not inside the EU and you want to do it sort of the traditional PayPal way, you can do that as well. So literally just pop straight over to me, send me an email, I'll send you a link and sort out all your login information for you. And that's basically just £5 including that. Or you can do it yearly as well at just £50 doing it that way. So just pop along, just click on the old membership, you'll see full details down in there. And I worked it out today because I haven't done it for absolutely ages, but we've got currently there's 92 full video builds, which are anything between 6 and 12 parts, half an hour to an hour each part as well on those ones up on the site now. So there's thousands of hours of builds up on the site, plus the fact we've got all your sort of reviews and your other stuff which is free to watch, and new tutorials. You can pop a load, have a look around the site, just pop over to the florymodels.org page and you can get full details just from down in there. And that is about it from me. So exciting, next week we're going to get this thing into paint, move it out of the way slightly, we can get on with the Apache, and that's the Mega Apache that I'm going to be working on, and we can have a lot of fun weathering that one just because it's blacky brown colour and it's always fun to weather it. So we'll be doing that one as well. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until Monday, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.
Like I'm wasted, my heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing, and you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. Through a ghost town, alone and stranded. Why leave me hoping and guessing for the answers?